everybody, it's Lindsay, and today I figured we would talk about, one day, people, one day, the ums will be gone. Why do I feel like this is like, I have to duck? Hang on a second, I'm gonna move you. You're not moving, why aren't you moving? There we go. Anyway, hello. So today I figured we would talk more about dyslexia. I've been talking about bipolar a lot, and I figured we would get into more of a definition or understanding as to what dyslexia is. So, to the notes, shall we? Anyway, so the definition, or whatever you'd want to call it, of dyslexia is yes, let's repeat the word is 5 times in a row, Lindsay, is a learning disability, specifically a reading and writing disability. It does affect other things and other parts of the brain, but for the most part it's a learning and reading. Is learning and reading the same thing? Does that sound stupid? Learning and reading. It's a reading issue. Let's just go with that one. Anyway, it is... Notes, help me. I'm lost. By the way, I am sorry that last Tuesday I did not make a video. I said I would explain it in this video. And so I guess I'll stop and do that real quick. Last Tuesday we had to deal with a passing away on my husband's side, so I had a funeral that I needed to go to, and after all of that and all the drama that came with it, unfortunately with the drama that came with it, I did not, after all of that, making a video it wasn't gonna happen, people. I'm sorry. I had full intentions on the next day or the day after making a video. Then I thought, well, you're gonna throw off your own schedule that you've made, so I figured, well, then we should just stop and make a video next Tuesday to keep it going. And unfortunately, yesterday, I was extremely emotional, and I had a lot of things going on. I had a baby shower that I had to go to, and it was a very emotional day yesterday, so making a video, I wasn't in the right headspace for it, so I figured I'd just put it off till today, and so I am making a video today. Yay! For getting things done. But yeah, anyway, like I said, back to what we were doing today. The definition of dyslexia is a learning disability. It's a spelling disability, mostly. Spelling and reading disability. There we go. Instead of spelling and learning. Spelling and reading! That makes much more sense. Disability. It's a common disability that shows up in children. Unfortunately, you don't really realize that, unless you have it, so you have an idea that your kid might have it, or if nobody in your family's had it, unfortunately you won't really recognize the signs too much until they're already in school, because that's when they show signs of being a little bit slower than the other children, and a little bit, just a little bit overall slower. And a little bit, confused, I want to say. They're gonna seem like they're a little confused in school, like the teacher will try to explain something to them, and they just, frankly, just won't understand it, or they'll understand a part of it, and then won't really know what to do with that information. You just kind of feel confused and lost, I guess, I'd say, in the teacher's instructions sometimes. Yeah. So there is that. It occurs in children with normal intelligence, I guess you could say, normal, whatever normal is these days. Intelligence. It's not that your child is, slow or has, a type of, what is that word? Retardation, I guess? I guess that's what I want to say, or Down syndrome or something like that. It's not that they have anything like that. They're of normal intelligence, whatever that is. So it's not like it's a bigger issue like something like that. It's not a vision thing. A lot of people ask me that is, well, do you have problems with your eyes too because of the whole reading thing and not being able to read? My eyes are fine. My eyes have always been fine. So it doesn't really have anything to do with that. I hate these one day, man. One day. So, yeah. What else is there? Kids with dyslexia are usually fine in school as long as they get some sort of help. Whether you hire a tutor on top of their schooling or you work with a program within your school that has a tutoring program in it, like a special, I wouldn't say special ed, but because sometimes that's more for far off children, I guess I want to say. I don't know, I don't want to offend anybody. But yeah, so it's just like a tutoring program within your school. I had one. It was really fun for me. I don't know, I enjoyed it. My teacher was really nice, and so yes. But if you do both, I find a lot of times it helps better if you hire a tutor after school, along with working with the special programs that schools usually have for kids that have reading disabilities and learning disabilities. They seem to work a lot better, obviously, together because you're getting twice the help. Yeah, so that, I guess, is the definition. What else is there? Signs before they go into school. There's really not that many signs, honestly. I mean, if you're trying to teach your child how to talk, sometimes it'll be slower. They won't talk as soon as maybe they should. So that's kind of delayed. Their talking is delayed. Learning new words, like if you're telling them bottle or diaper or mama or daddy, and they're only getting, half the words that you're trying to learn them. You're trying to learn them words. Trying to teach them words. They're only understanding like half of them or only a couple of them. That's kind of sort of a sign. And difficulty rhyming. Yeah, rhymes suck for me because I can barely speak as it is. So screw you, rhymes. But yeah, that is also another sign before they go to school. If you notice that they're having difficulties like saying silly rhymes, especially even not especially, but even like nursery rhymes. If you teach them nursery rhymes or whatever, and they try to take them back, I know it's not like a rhyme, but it's a word sequence of a story that they have to like memorize and learn. Sometimes they'll even have problems repeating that back. Oh, I wish these ums would go away. I'm so awkward with ums. Just ums. Come out of me, go on a butterfly and fly away. Go away. I don't know what that was. I'm sorry. Wow. Way to just space off into the world, Lindsay. Okay. We'll edit that part, hopefully. Anyway. Dyslexia signs when they're in school is kind of like what I said. They'll be slower when it comes to reading. Their reading level won't be up to par with the other children or where it should be for that level. Difficulty comprehending rapid instructions is what it says. Holy crap, way to make that difficult. So yeah, basically if the teacher, it's rapid instructions, so I guess to make that an easier term, basically telling them to do something and then telling them to do something else and then telling them to do something else, or something like that. I don't really know. I know, but I don't know how to word vomit it out so that it's less complicated of a sentence. Anyway, reading. Comprehending rapid instructions, following more than one command at a time. Now, I guess that would be more what I was talking about. So, rapid That seems like the same thing to me. Correct me if I'm wrong. Rapid instructions and then comprehending more than one thing at a time. Am I crazy, or does that not sound like the same thing? It seems like the same thing to me. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, like I said, remembering a sequence of things. I talked about this in one of my other videos. Like numbers and a sequence of, like, words. Like a spelling test type of thing. That's a sequence of words that you have to memorize and know how to spell. That's not going to happen for me. Don't ask me to. I won't remember it. So yeah, that's another sign. And letters and words are a big thing for me. Like D and B. You know, normally in kindergarten, kids kind of mix it up. Anyway, they're D's and they're B's, you know, they're backwards or whatever. But for people with dyslexia, especially me, I know I have to literally sit there and stop for a second and think to myself, which way does this go? Because I get confused. And a lot of times I actually, because there's a D in my name and I know how to spell my name, because it's my name. Wow. I will write my name like Lind, and I'd stop at the D so I know which way a D goes. So if I want to write a B, obviously it's the opposite of whatever it is in my name. That's a trick I do a lot. And other thing is, like, words will be reversed, but back to the letter thing, like I said, they'll be doing it more often. Like, they'll get the D's and the B's mixed up a lot more often. If they're writing a word and it has a K sound in it, they'll sometimes write a C when it's supposed to be a K, and a K when it's supposed to be a C. I mean, that's kind of normal in kindergarten anyway, but it'll happen a lot more often than it should. Usually the teachers tend to notice, or at least the teachers that I went to in my school noticed, and that's how I obviously got diagnosed. Yeah, so they're pretty good at noticing what kids are catching on and which kids aren't catching on. They'll come and talk to you about it, I hope, or at least some schools should, and not just, you know, scoot the kid along in school so by the time he graduates he has no idea what he's doing. Words, like I was going to say, a lot of words like was and saw, I'll write those backwards all the time. It seems like it's really silly and something really simple, but it's like SAW and WAS, right? Yeah, that was right. Woo, that was right. Woohoo! But writing them out when you're writing a sentence and you're trying to jot something down really fast will get mixed up. Little words like that have all the same letters, so it's just rearranged in a different way. We'll mess up a lot. So that's kind of like a sign where you know they're trying to say something in a sentence and you don't understand it because the words are backwards. Just be patient. Be kind. Patience is a big thing. If you don't have patience, you're going to have a problem. Because you just are. Anyway, like I said, difficulty spelling. It's just you're on top of trying to memorize how the words are spelt, and it's a word sequence, and then you have the letters that you can form backwards, and then the words you can form backwards. I mean, at that point, a spelling test is just ridiculous to us, and it's really hard. So you have all those things working against you on the spelling test, and for me, 90% of the time, I messed up my spelling test. I think I got 100% on a spelling test once. And that was it. I don't even think it was 100, technically. I think it was like a 98, so I think I messed up 2 words, or whatever that is. But yeah, so, spelling tests are just silly. To me. I don't know. Honestly, I don't think spelling tests really do anything after the 2nd grade. I mean, I get spelling tests in kindergarten, 1st grade, and 2nd grade, and maybe 3rd grade, but after 4th grade, I think spelling tests are kind of absolute. And is it only my school and my school's thing because I had spelling tests all the way up to 8th grade. Like, I just thought that was stupid at that point. Like, I know words now. Like, I'm in 8th grade. I have a computer. I can look it up. Not to mention, every document you have to write for school or whatever has a spelling check on it. Just click the button and it tells you what you did wrong and you just fix it all. It's really not that difficult. Like, what's the point? There's more technology than there's probably should be in the world. But, I mean, you have the spell checker. I'm sorry, but that is my safe haven. I use it all the time and it works. So why spelling tests till 8th grade? I don't get it. It's not like, well, at least not in my school, it's not like you ever really hand wrote anything. Everything was on the computer. So there's nothing to mess up. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Anyway, dyslexia symptoms in adults and teens. Obviously difficulty reading, trouble understanding jokes and idioms or idioms. I don't think it's idioms. I think it's idioms. Idioms just sounds idiotic. Ha ha ha. Anyway, so yeah, understanding jokes and idioms. Jokes suck. I hate jokes. Anyway, reading out loud. I will have issues reading out loud. It's just because you're trying to remember. You read the sentence. Usually when you're dyslexic, this is what you do. You read the sentence, like, in your head, and then you go and you read the sentence out loud to make sure that you don't mix it up or mess up any words. But sometimes when you're just, like, quickly looking and glancing, like I'm doing here, I can... Woo! That's why I'm looking over here more than I'm looking at you, and I'm sorry. But if I don't do that, I'm gonna mess something up. So, yeah, difficulty reading out loud. Difficulty with time management. Everybody wants to know why I'm always late with everything. This is why. I blame it on the dyslexia. That is my thing, and I'm sticking to it. I'm so gonna blame it on that. I am okay with that. If nobody else is okay with it, that's your problem. It's not mine. Anyway. Difficulty summarizing stories. Like, you know, something that happened to you at work today, or something that happened to you at school, or whatever. You have problems saying the beginning, the middle, and the end, and a lot of times when we're telling a story even, we'll say the middle before we say the beginning, and we'll say the beginning at the end and the end at the beginning. So you get really confused by the end. You're sitting there and you're going, what are you talking about? I understand this is a story and you're trying to tell me, but what? This isn't making any sense. But in your brain, it makes perfect sense because you know where everything goes. You know that you messed that up and this is supposed to go here and that's supposed to go there, you know, in the story. But when you're saying it out loud to somebody, mind jumble scramble and this happens. But cha. That was horrible. I don't know what that was. Anyway, difficulty learning a foreign language. I mean, really, after everything else I've said, you're gonna really try and go learn something other than English? You have enough problems with English. What? Why would you do that to yourself? Which is why in school, thank God for my school, foreign language was never an option for me. They never put me in it. They never suggested it. I didn't even get the option to take it. Nope. I had nothing issues with English. Never mind. Yeah, no, thank you. I'm good with another language. And, excuse me, like I said in my other video, difficulty memorizing. Like I was talking about. Memorizing. I don't know what that was. Difficulty memorizing, obviously. I was gonna say I don't have issues memorizing. That's not what I wanted to say. I have difficulties memorizing a lot of things, like phone numbers and addresses and, you know, stupid stuff like that. You could tell me a sequence of numbers like 3, 4, 5, and then tell me to say it back to you, and it could come out 5, 4, 6. And I just randomly pull a random 6 out of the air. I don't know why, but it's a thing that happens. So yeah, memorizing. And I think that's it. Difficulty memorizing. I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, if you notice the signs in the beginning of your child going to school or whatever, and you work with a tutor and you work with the school's tutor or whatever kind of program they have, I think most schools do have a program to help. It'll be a lot easier for them, and for the most part they'll go on and have a normal school year or a normal life. Unfortunately, in my opinion, if you don't give them any help and you just think to yourself, well, they'll get it sooner or later, and just push them along through school, they're gonna end up like me with a lot of issues, and you don't want that, trust me. I have to use spell check for everything. I don't know half the things I should know how to spell, and my reading level is really low, my writing level is really low, my spelling level is really low, and frankly, it's really sad. I got as much help as I could get in school, and by the end of it, I got so frustrated with it, I basically just quit. And it's no fault of mine, it's no fault of my parents, it's the complete fault of, the government and the fact that they just wanted to push me along through school and thought that, hey, she'll get it sooner or later. And so I left. I was homeschooled for a while, and then, of course, after being homeschooled for a while, I just thought to myself, well, this is dumb, and I just quit. So, unfortunately, that is my school life. But yeah, so other than that, get your kids help, because you don't want them to be all up in this. You don't want them to have this issue, because it's sad. Anyway, that got really deep for a second, I'm sorry. That is pretty much dyslexia in a nutshell. Comment down below and let me know any more information that you want me to look up, or you have a question to ask. I am more than willing to answer it. And, yeah, so subscribe, hit that button, make me happy. And